Yeah.
This also was not the easiest situation to. Here you go, baby.
Thank you, sir.
To get together.
There's a chair right over there.
Don't I love that?
You know your kid want to be next to you, so I don't think she's gonna grab one.
That's it.
Oh, I washed your sock and it's sent to the side. I forgot to bring it down
Thank
here. When I go get my bag,
Let me
my
know
ice.
if you see any of them other ones. That's okay. Them the ones. Missing their mate.
She didn't hit.
I don't think I
It
seen
be like
this
that
one,
sometimes.
but I know
What,
I seen
my
this
friend?
one.
People not answering the phone.
Oh yeah.
I don't think I have any of those.
You probably did.
Y'all gonna have to speak up.
No.
Last Bible study was what do we believe in? So do you have any recap or recollection of what we went over, Mama?
Oh.
Yeah, tore her up.
Could you say something?
Something.
Oh, you're messed up for that. You're messed up for that. I'm trying to charge my phone and you're
Oh,
online.
he's live somewhere.
Oh, that's so crazy. That's what she is.
That's what's going on.
Now you got the
Are you
phone.
crying, bro?
Did you need a
Relax.
charger?
Yeah!
You got a 15? Or like yours take the C charger?
I already found the right charger. I'm gonna just set that right there.
Oh,
so
it's
I don't
also
have
a thunderstorm warning for this area, so y'all might want to charge your devices.
God is good.
Thank you. Usually my mother-in-law, she did tell me, call her. Malia, slowly give me my 2 cords, please. Slowly, don't pull them. Thank you.
Cause I look like a bum. How many people in your chat? 3, 2, 1, none.
None.
Okay, good. Nobody saw me.
Y'all saw me writing this last time, right?
You know you can
Right, what?
rewatch lives, right? Like from the beginning.
When I was writing,
I forgot you to do that.
that's if they're recorded.
I'm crying.
Is it?
Why wouldn't a live be recorded?
But sometimes people don't record or they forget. Bad company corrupts good character. And we were 1 Corinthians 15, 1 through 58.
Malia, what do you remember from our last Bible study? Oh, you had more to say? It sounded like you just want to stop there. Oh, okay. That's my bro.
Oh, I was about to say.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. Go ahead.
Y'all blow a fuse. Somebody going downstairs.
I vote as contribute. I
ain't even calling nothing in.
Your phone just lit up. I think your brother unplugged your phone.
Did you unplug my phone?
I didn't.
Oh shit! Okay.
Go ahead and do it now.
All right, was you gonna finish, or that was it?
No, go ahead.
Okay, Malia, what do you remember from?
Train of thought.
Or
I remember. I don't remember the exact quote, but I remember it was talking about how we are all one and the same, but still different, and not to let your environment change you, and to stay yourself.
Oh, she made me remember. If
if
you believe that Jesus was raised from the dead, why you can't believe anybody else?
Jasmine, what do you remember from our last Bible study?
I'm gonna be honest with you.
Not much.
Yeah.
I'm surprised I got.
I was about to say really just what they said, but also I'm trying to think.
I stitched up my hole.
That's not why we're here.
Which one did we review?
You said 1 Corinthians 15?
Yeah, 15, 1 through 58.
Mhm.
Wait, are we reading again?
We will be. It's going to be a little bit different than last time, but we will be.
What's gonna be different about it?
I don't like reading out loud.
I'll be talking a lot more.
Oh, good.
Okay, good.
Oh, good. I'll be asking a lot more questions too.
Oh,
In that.
dang.
It don't matter.
So yeah, take your time because we're not on camera.
Smile
Is
more.
this the communion? I got the crackers and I got the wine. Is this the communion Sunday? No, I think we missed that. What's today? No,
Can't-
it's the
Okay, I'll go get the liquor.
it's the first Sunday
Mm.
in November.
You know, Dreezy told me I should start streaming.
Might
Might be a good idea.
Twitch.
What's today?
The 10th.
Sunday.
No, the first Sunday was the third.
Mhm.
Dang it, we can't have wine.
Dreezy, what do you remember from our last Bible study?
Having a very long discussion about if people believe in God or not.
Mm-hmm.
I'm
And
sorry.
her mouth hurt. And
I
then
was
she was
yawning.
eating apples.
Yes.
So my ears was plugged. All I heard was a long discussion, and I don't know what came after that.
Smile more.
Malia, be quiet.
A long discussion about if we believe in God or not.
Yeah, don't lean on the wall because you might be where I put that hole in the
I
wall.
remembered
Make
what
sure
we
it goes
read, but not what chapter. But I don't really remember much because I wasn't feeling good.
Okay.
How'd you do that? David threw you against the wall.
Did you figure it out, Jasmine, or are you still looking?
I found it, but I'm also still looking for one that was thinking about it.
Mhm.
Ooh, stop it.
So how you
Please
put it
do.
in?
You just woke up.
Ooh. Dang. You just gonna let him gag you like that?
Gag.
Yeah, like took your breath, like got the last word.
So
I wanted to talk about non-regular. Yeah. Wait.
Don't turn off the TV.
I left my phone.
That was not your chance.
Which
to turn
one did
off
she
the
say?
TV. Do not.
1 Corinthians 15.
Chapter 15.
Yes.
I'm gonna bite you.
This is not what you're here for.
I was looking at the wrong one. My bad.
It was muted, so wouldn't nobody be paying attention to the TV. But you that one nigga is just looking at TV, even though it's on.
I don't like.
Come
the way
on.
you're looking at
Go sit on the floor.
I don't want to sit on the floor. I don't want to sit anywhere. I don't want to sit down.
It's a couple of plastic bags over there.
So there was nothing that was said in the last Bible study that really hit home with y'all. That made y'all feel like,
Bad
I
company
should
corrupts
definitely-
good character. I said that first.
And I feel like if you should, I would say like sometimes you can't tell who's bad until maybe when it's too late, or maybe like sometimes you can pick up on little signs, but sometimes people surround themselves with bad people, and it's like they start getting corrupted by them and slowly start turning bad themselves, and it's just like I don't know how to say it.
Is it raining?
Did you miss the part where I said it's a thunderstorm in this area?
But this is why I try to talk to people more, because it's like I'm not trying to seem like a bad person, because I know when I used to keep my mouth shut, people feel like I was the bad guy or I wasn't trying to, put in effort. But now that I feel like that I talk to people more and actually listen and they listen to me, I feel like that I really start pulling away from the bad people that used to be around me, if it makes sense.
and
Bad,
that's
bad company. For me, it's different levels to that because it's not so much of a person necessarily being bad. Sometimes it's just negative energy. And things that somebody may be going through and they just want somebody to talk to, so they come and they vent to you. Then all of a sudden, you were in a good mood, and all of a sudden, you're no longer in that good mood because you've taken on whatever they brought to you. And a lot of times, things are said or written in the Bible, but they have multiple meanings, or the meaning is a lot greater than just the simple words that they chose to utilize. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I think it's pretty wonderful that the Holy Spirit influenced these people to write in a way that people from even the same backgrounds can look at the same passage and get different things from it, pick little pieces from it, and not necessarily not see what the other person saw. It's just this stuck out more to me, so this is what I'm gonna take with me this week. Which is a nice segue into what we about to study.
There we go.
We started off last week with what do we believe in? So now I want to go to how do we believe what we believe? And I feel like that question can be asked in two different ways, and it's tone wise. It's how could you believe that? Like it's unfathomable to believe in something like this. Or how do you believe in this? How do I practice this so that I can believe in this too? And that's how we're gonna go today. So we're gonna start off with how could you believe in this? So
How could you believe in what?
how could we believe in the Bible? How could we believe in Jesus? Because what we believe in is Jesus, because he died and resurrected, which is what I wanted everybody to get out of the Bible study, but everybody get their own different things. So we're gonna start off with the flood story, which is in Genesis 7, if everybody wanna turn that way.
You sound like a
Genesis is in the beginning, lady. Oh yeah, you got the only New Testament.
Yeah,
No, I don't want to switch books.
You don't have Genesis in your Bible. That's what we saying. Yeah.
There's a Bible right there
Is that grandma's old Bible?
underneath my note. The family Bible is still downstairs wrapped up. That's the Bible. I keep it's supposed to be a Bible on every floor, open to the 23rd Psalm.
This one right here.
Yeah.
It's okay. That's not what we talking
Can
about
I
today.
move?
We'll get to it
How many
eventually.
these pages to right here?
Yeah.
What's up, family?
Because I know where it is. Who you talking to?
I'm on live. It's people
right.
watching. I got to
How
interact
many?
with the crowd.
How many?
Don't worry about it. You're not on camera.
Yeah,
It's
we not
okay.
on- we ain't on camera.
People can rewind and see my dusty.
It's okay.
Genesis
Watch your lips.
Genesis chapter 7 is the flood story.
Whoa.
Open your eyes.
You want to come sit right here?
No, man.
See your lamp.
It's over there. I ain't got no more room.
The flood story is long and detailed, but we're going to keep it pretty concise just
Noah's
for
Ark?
the general message. Yes, ma'am. Noah's Ark.
See, look.
Um,
They got pairs of animals so they can reproduce. But doesn't that mean that they
Just
slept
stop.
with their cousins?
But also know that these people can hear you and rewind back.
Trust and believe Jesus.
Oh my god.
if you're gonna ask questions, ask them loud enough so everybody can hear you, so I can answer you.
I don't want to ask this question anymore.
This is not set up like anything. So I'm trying to
Wait,
find
do you think
if there's a Genesis.
Do you think
in here?
animals
That's
would sleep with their
28:15.
brothers and sisters? Or do they have
Is that
morals
serious
like
question?
us?
No,
Okay.
they don't.
Then why would he bring pairs and not?
It was more than that.
Oh, okay.
I wonder how did they pick which scripture?
It's already beginning to
So yeah, I was about to say, are we ready?
Did the
You
roaches get
looking
on
at
Malia,
what's going on?
I'm trying to find my page on
you about
my
to
notes.
say about the
So I
David.
usually try to go where Genesis in my is close. But this is all the way to 28.
So we all got Genesis open, yeah? Genesis 7.
I got that.
Okay, great.
I'm joking. It's okay.
So a little bit before Genesis 7, it gives you a bit of a backstory about Noah. Noah was a righteous man. Noah has 3 sons, and his 3 sons are married. And so Noah is described as a righteous man because in that time, angels thought it was fitting to have sex with humans, and they messed up the human race. So Noah and his family were the only pure ones according to the genealogy. So God told him to build a boat, and it says that 100 years passed from the time that God told him to build a boat to the time when it actually started raining. So he had 100 years to let people know, hey, there's rain coming. Also, it had not rained on the earth before, so rain was a foreign concept to everybody. So very obviously, they're like, I don't believe you. Yeah, it does. I have that in here too.
Yeah, because with the start of the new world, with Pangea, when it
Speak
came
louder,
to-
I can't hear you.
Mm.
Or just don't speak.
No, okay, with the start of the world, when Pangea became one, it was a whole desert.
Mm-hmm.
And because it was odd for that huge continent to be together, because it was North America, South America, Eurasia, Africa, and Australia combined.
Mm-hmm.
Since it was odd for that huge landmass, not all of the currents can go the ways that they should. Well, it was supposed to go. So it caused for a big desert land. So I guess that does link up to what you were trying to say.
Interesting how science would throw you a little bit of the truth and be like, "Oh no, God ain't do that. That was it was
because it was a
other
different time
stuff."
period.
Yeah, hilarious, hilarious, ain't it? So Noah built this boat along with his 3 sons. Noah's also married. Of course, because he has 3 sons. So, chapter 7 starts off with God telling Noah and his family to go into the boat. So, all 8 people go into the boat with all the animals. And 7 days later, it started to rain. It says that it rained for 40 days and 40 nights. And in verse 11, it says that on that day, all the fountains of the great deep were broken up and the windows of the heavens were opened. That means it wasn't no regular. Obviously, it's the first time it rained, so it wasn't no regular rain, but it's not regular rain that we used to now. The ground broke up and water spewed out of it, and the literal heavens opened up to where all of the water could come down and flood. Ain't that something?
Yeah, because in science they were saying that the water went underneath the land, and since it was creating water pressure, that's how we got the Rocky Mountains. Well, due to land clashing, but also when the water would go up, it would cause a mountain to form because it was pressing all that pressure up to create mountains. So that is actually possible for it to break and water can come up.
God is good, ain't he? He built something beautiful. This is wild. 40 days and 40 nights, and it rained so much that in verse 24 it says, and the waters were mighty on the earth 150 days. 150 days is half a year, ain't it? 365, close to it, half a year.
Yeah, and that would line up.
Imagine how crazy that would be.
Yeah, after all that rain, we would have a whole bunch of swamps. And after Pangea, we had a whole bunch of swamps that created coal because deceased plants and deceased animals, when they, whatever happens, they create coal.
Tell them again.
So all that rain will give you a whole bunch of swampy weather, swamps everywhere. So makes sense.
Yes, it does. And what's even
You can
crazier
adjust the light on
is
how bright you want it.
science has discovered,
Mhm.
or let me not say science. Well, yeah, archaeologists are scientists. Archaeologists have discovered fish bones in places where there probably shouldn't be fish bones, like
Pangea.
at the top of mountains, Antarctica. I mean, not Antarctica. What's the Mount Everest? Boom, Mount Everest. Over in Nevada where it's desert, how we get fish bones out there.
Yeah, because Pangea was all connected
Because
to one another.
whatever is now desert may not have always been desert.
But why is it?
Because Pangea. Because all the continents used to be one.
Because the cycles that the earth has gone through
The continents never stop moving.
over time. So it's constantly changing. That's just like what used to be that, you know how they do the looking at the rings, oceanside or the banks of water, because you can tell how long it's been underwater or when certain changes in the world happen. The geologists and stuff, they go and they sample that clay, that dirt, and those microorganisms, and they learn a lot about what has transpired prior to them being here.
So let me ask you this. Do we know Egypt to be a desert?
Today, yes.
Or back then?
Today?
Probably no.
Today?
Desert, yes.
Yes.
Okay. What about back then?
Swamp.
At what point did Egypt go through a cycle? When it was lush? And
1976. It's the year I was born.
I was about to say.
Before me.
But it was probably
I agree with you though.
Good question, and that's a good project.
Dang it, I wish I could
During
show
that,
you something.
Situation in Egypt with Joshua. No, it's not Joshua. What's his name from the Seven Brothers? Why can't I think of his name?
7 brothers?
It's more than 7.
You talking about Joseph?
Yes, Joseph.
One of them J's.
Yeah, I don't know why, and that's like one of my favorite stories. I just couldn't think of it.
Right.
Jeez Louise. You remember like when they went through like the dry weed and
7 years of plenty and 7 years of
was rain
scarcity.
like one of those?
It was 7 years of plenty and 7 years of scarcity. I mean, you can assume that rain was involved because crops need water to grow. So, good point. But it doesn't explicitly say like this was that.
True.
But I feel what you're saying though. I'm here for it.
That's a good project.
I'm trying to find
for a region to be assigned, and you do the research
to find cycles.
Right. For that region.
That would be dope.
That's a map of Pangea.
You know, there's no A after the N, right?
Why would you call it out like
Broccoli.
I think it sounds the same with 1 C or 2, but we just gonna keep going. There's also a verse in here where it says where Noah's boat landed. Now, in verse 5, it says, "And the waters decreased steadily until the 10th month of the year. And on the first day of the month, the tops of the mountains became visible."
Pastor Warnes, I'm gonna need you to tell us which verses in the
Chapter 8, verse 5.
Oh, we're in chapter 8 now.
Yeah, we
finished the whole
thing. Yeah, I'm gonna need you to no.
I mean, did hit the end of chapter 7 when I said verse
I know.
20.
Yeah, and then you said 5, and I was like, oh, and I flipped back.
Okay, I'm sorry.
So
I'm
I'm gonna need you to tell us in the beginning which ones you gonna hit
Um,
in each chapter. So that way,
100. I got you.
3,000, baby.
so that works.
No, I was saying, talking to her. What you say?
Thanks, Pastor.
Um,
Six.
what up? Nobody on YouTube, and I really can't tell on Instagram.
The
It's not
chronology of
showing
the
me.
flood is in here.
The chronology of it.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't
What,
that wonderful?
when, and how long? Mm-hmm.
That's dope. On seeing the verse and hear that Ararat about and look at see how it pours to take sign to see how it was composed from lakes. Oh, that's
Been on the 17 mountains of
a
here.
lot of flood stories.
What?
Yeah, they did that.
Why?
But it's in those.
Oh, they don't want somebody or something like that.
The Bible is a hit.
Yeah.
All I think is the fact, and that goes into what I said in the beginning with Noah's genealogy being pure. When the angels were having sex with these humans, they were creating giant babies. The Bible says that. Other belief systems have an explanation for it, but they have claims that don't really have any proof, and we have proof.
So you just mix
say,
the science and mix the Bible, and you're gonna find the truth in
like,
between.
But
There's no
about
mixing.
what he said is about the giant baby. Do you recall any area or region that talked about larger than men or larger than human creatures with distinct abilities?
Bigfoot.
I knew she was gonna say it. I knew. I was trying to stop it, and I knew it was gonna come out of her
Bigfoot is
mouth.
still around. Bigfoot's real. They're still having babies. They're undercover. They're in cages.
You have
Area
people.
51.
Why I can't think of none of them guys' names at the moment?
I can't.
Zeus.
Right. Zeus,
What up?
Athena.
Oh.
Those people.
And their statues are huger than normal, so maybe they were giants.
So
they worshipped these giants as gods because they were giants. They could live longer than humans. Yeah. Humans back then was already living 700, 800 years. So the giants was living thousands of years.
It's
Your wife is
Isn't it?
hilarious. She was gonna say King Neptune.
I didn't actually
See,
see
See,
that.
and Bigfoot may be real.
Bigfoot may be real.
And they may
Yeah,
still
you're
be
very right.
around
How
lurking.
dare you?
Why can't Bigfoot be real? Because there were
You're more
times
funny
where
than
myself.
people probably looked like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they
So,
still
For sure.
probably around.
Why
For sure.
couldn't
What's in Area
a few-
51?
Someone never
The government
disrespect
house.
that
a few
shit
have
like that.
survived and learned to adapt?
Hmm.
That's
Very
just like
right.
they still don't know what's way, way beneath the sea.
Mm-hmm.
And if you want to look at something interesting, the Smithsonian covered
gonna
up
say-
giant bones that they found. You know, that's the museum in New York that everybody be like, oh, the Smithsonian. They covered up the fact that they found some giant bones.
I have something to add on about the sea part because it's
Mhm.
like it be videos and stuff talking about like mermaids and siren seeings and stuff like that.
Mhm.
And it's like I don't know what to believe, but at the same time, it's like I really feel like because the whole sea has not been explored,
Mhm.
so it's like you never know what's really down there.
It's very possible.
No,
So
'cause they
I'm
were-
like, it could be
It's very
something
possible.
like it could be, and I ain't got time.
They were looking into the sea, and then after that, they started trying to see if we could find another.
I was about to say
Place
because
to-
wasn't
that's
NASA the ones
habitable
looking
for
in the sea at
humans.
first, and then they changed their minds and said, "Let's go in
Mhm.
the."
They
It's
probably
space
found.
travel.
I was about to say, I want to know what they saw that made them change their mind, saying we ain't doing
or a
this.
huge
What?
A pin.
volcano that could erupt.
Yeah.
They were dated that it
I
might
see it.
erupt soon or something like
I'm
that.
gonna
Or
give
they
you right
found
back.
some
I
creature down there.
promise.
Who knows?
It's crazy in the water.
My thing is working for
Because there's mountains under there.
the government and going through different things like that. Remember that time that they thought something was going to happen, and we had to list our kids,
Mhm.
and we had to have spare medication. If he was on medication at work, and if something happened, making sure our kids was okay and all of that stuff, that the paper they had us fill out. And I was like, this is different. And I was like, what the world? Because I figured I'm down here at that point. I wasn't even a manager, I don't think, yet. And I was like, what? But it helped me to understand that they try to filter how much information goes out, because they try to avoid or reduce the amount of mass panic that happens. Case in point, with COVID, you couldn't find tissue. There's a lot of stuff because people were panicking
Mhm.
with a little bit of information that they had. So it helps me understand some things about the Bible more, and how they're doing things like now with discovering things and what you release and things like that. It's getting harder because technology is constantly advancing. That is hard to keep people in the dark
Mhm.
when you got social media and you got these high-tech devices in everybody's hand.
Mhm. Very right about that.
Also, because I want to ask something about the water again.
Mhm.
Um,
I mean, it's good though, because that's what we talking about. Everything on the land and then the sky was killed, but what about the water?
So I was just say because I watched the second Black Panther movie, and the so-called was born up top, where it made them not be able to breathe going to the sea, and that's what's like that. And
They really haven't built the.
which was the pressure I really feel.
Tiana.
The next event is so we gonna find.
All right, you know what, you monkey coon. Oh. Okay, I'll get back to you with that.
Buzz Lightyear. So Sodom and Gomorrah. A little bit of backstory. Abraham and Lot did not trust God the way they should have. Abraham had, yes.
Was this like the table scene, the Last Supper? He said, one of y'all will betray me?
No.
We are so far from that. So far from that. We are in the beginning of the world. Kind of, because we're some years in, but we in the beginning of the world. We so far from that.
600 or 700 years in.
Nah, like 2000 and some change.
2000 BC?
Nah. Well, yeah, because he came in 6,000, so that would be halfway through. So Abraham had to leave his family because God said that I'm going to show you a land that I'm going to give you and your descendants. So he left and he brought his nephew with him because he didn't have any children. And he's like, you said you're going to give it to me and my descendants. I treat my nephew like my son, so this is going to be my descendant. And Abraham was rich.
Focus, ADD.
Abraham was rich. So on his journeys, because he trusted God in other ways, God continued to bless him with more riches. And so him and Lot felt like because what they owned was so much and the people they owned had started clashing with each other that they needed to separate. Lot ended up going to a place called Sodom, which was along a sea of 5 cities. So God came to Abraham and let him know, like, Sodom and Gomorrah is really evil. I'm going to destroy this place. And Abraham in his head, like, well, my nephew is there with his people. So look, if it's 50 righteous people there, are you still going to destroy the city? And God's like, nah, I'm not going to destroy the city. So Abraham goes back and forth with God a few times, all the way down to 5 people. So I feel like that's a really interesting way to show us that there is opportunity for us to, in a way, bargain with God. We can come to him with the things that we want and that we need. And ultimately, if it is in his will, then we will be granted those things. But very obviously, the people in Sodom and Gomorrah were way too far gone and God had to destroy the cities. But before he did that, starting in chapter 19, yes, ma'am.
Where does Gomorrah come into play for historic data? Because
I'll get there.
It references Sodom consistently, but if you know of the Bible, you always hear of Sodom and Gomorrah.
Mm-hmm.
So
why I also dropped the little dime that it's on the on the sea with 5 cities, because the other 3 really aren't mentioned except for in a few chapters before, where Abraham has to war with these people for some situations. I don't remember all the details, but yeah, it's 5 cities over there. It's a lot, but I'm gonna get to the historical context after we get through with the gist of the story. So guys sent 2 messengers to Sodom, so that they could peep out the city, see what the deal was, try to find some righteous people. And so the people of this city saw these 2 men, noticing that they were strangers, that they weren't from there. They subdue these men. They tried to capture them. And so Lot found them and took them into his house. And Lot said, yes, ma'am.
What tried to seduce the men and capture them?
The villagers, the people that lived in the city. House, and told them, like, y'all gonna be safe. Come outside, like, you don't want them. And they like text these men or rob these men. Why would you go outside? So and say, look, I got these daughters that I'm gonna send out setting up, or try to just rob. And the 2 messengers came, said something. It's necessary, but they struck this family like, y'all got to get out this city. Eventually they had to literally drag them, like, don't even turn around. But his wife didn't listen, and she turned around because pillar assault. I kind of want to end with the cradle, because Lot lost his. Their daughter's line wasn't her. They left the city drunk. Her daughter did it, and they both. They did that up specifically were in the place and the way, because it was fire and brimstone that rained down from heaven to hit the earth, and the way the blast impacted it blew salt from somewhere. I don't know, blue salt or created salt. I don't remember the details, but so God was protecting Lot and his family from the salt, as long as they didn't show signs that they missed what they were leaving behind. And because Lot's wife showed those signs, she got turned into a pillar of salt. And the Dead Sea is there now with the highest salt content of any water body of water on earth. And there's an area out there with actual sulfur balls in the ground that historians and archaeologists go to, and they have videos of it, so you can look that up too. So it's like no other culture really has an explanation for these things. Does that answer your historical context question?
Yeah, about Gomorrah. It was indeed one of the 5.
And then very slightly, I wanted to touch on geology and empire history, because based on what up, appreciate you. Based on
That was me.
I
know.
got a question, because you said you're about to get into genealogy, but now it was a intricate or reason that it was put in the Bible about the daughters taking advantage of their father and having sons.
That's why I brought it up, to see if anybody would. But what do you think the significant reason would be?
So now, that was going to be my question.
Oh,
Also, was their names and what was their purpose?
their names.
What was the reasoning?
I can tell you the name of the kids that they had.
Moab.
Yeah, that's at the end.
And Benjamin.
Yeah, so the Moabites and the Ammonites, and they fought with them pretty heavily. And Joshua. I don't know. I would have to. Yeah, geology, and empire history.
And this is where
Geology.
this person begets this person.
No, not genealogy.
Okay.
Geology is about the placement of.
That's why I asked the question.
Where cities and mountains and things like that are. I was not super descriptive with this. I think purposefully. First Samuel. I know First Samuel talks a lot about Israel in general. And of course, we all know that Israel is a real place.
I'm trying to get
Second Samuel goes into detail about the city of David, which is Jerusalem. Which is still a city today. I mean, all of this is really just to build on the fact that that's true nuance, or as and the disciples Ethiopia is Jesus book.
Some
We think and a lot of the name from temple there is, and there are ruins there. That's what a mount is, and there are so and then typically talking about their conquest of the AD. He said one stone was gonna lay on top of another stone.
Did you still need it? Because
so that's the head.
That being prophecy, let's talk about prophecy. Malia, what is a prophecy?
prophecy, something that's in stone, something that is to come.
Okay, so are those conjoined, or are they
Conjoined.
separate? Okay, so set in stone to come, which means I wrote something down that has to happen in the future. That's what you're saying?
That could happen in the future.
You said set in stone though. So set in stone mean it has
Scratch out
to.
set in stone.
I want to answer the question.
I got you. You was coming next anyway, but I got you. Is that all you? Don't look it up.
No, I'm not gonna look it up.
Okay, then get your hands off your laptop. What prophecy mean then? Tell me, because we scratched out set in stone. We scratched out set in stone,
Okay.
so it's just something that's to come.
It's something. How can I say this? It is something that is set in stone, but it is of your own free will. Like your fate. Like it is something that is going to happen, but you think that you're in control of it, but it will happen no matter what. Like if a future teller tells you about your death, and you try
Future teller.
if a medium tells you about your death and you try to escape it, it's still gonna come to you. So
And you saying that's what a prophecy is?
Somewhat like that. It's something like that. It's not exactly as like fate, but
Go ahead, look it up now. Jasmine, what is a prophecy?
A prophecy is a prediction of, and it's like it's a choice that most likely you're gonna have to make, based kind of like what she said, just a little bit different. It's a prediction. It's like you have your choice. You can choose the right path or you could choose the wrong path. Sometimes there's
Give it your best shot. Google should correct you.
Fire away.
So it's not really set in stone. It's like it's just a prediction that could possibly happen.
Mhm.
And if it does happen, you have a choice to
Mhm.
choose which side you're gonna be on. And sometimes you may choose the right path, or you may choose the wrong path. You really never know, depending on how you are.
Okay. Dreezy, what's the prophecy?
I don't know, ain't it like a message or something like that?
I'm not answering questions. I'm just trying to
That's
see
my
what y'all
answer.
opinions are. A message. Okay.
Or like a passage, something of the sorts.
Mama, what's the prophecy?
For me, it has more a religious connotation or meaning to it. And it's more so of predicting what has not yet came or was to come.
Mm-hmm.
But the word itself, prophecy, it more has like I said, a religious connotation.
Things
to
that
it.
were written before something.
Yeah.
Like a prediction.
Yeah.
It does. What's the definition, Malia?
A prediction, a faculty, function, or practice of
This is exactly what I wanted to hear.
prophecy.
Mm-hmm.
In religion, a prophecy is a message that has been communicated to a person by a supernatural entity.
Everybody
Ain't that something? Y'all hit separate words of the definition, but ain't say a thing.
I get prophecy.
I'm playing. Yeah, okay.
I think we
That
all
was crazy.
actually hear me out, guys.
I
Hear
was
me out,
about to
guys.
say,
Hear me
yeah.
out. I think we all get prophecies. It's just we don't remember them, and when it happens in the moment, that's why it feels like deja vu.
You want to be that
For me-
celebrity so bad.
Right?
For me,
Because I
it
did that
used to happen all the time when I was younger. And I didn't know
Mm-hmm.
what it was or what it meant. Because you know how you had it like, I did this already. I've been here before. And it's like, and you sit back and you're like, what?
Do you want to be a millionaire? Doom doom.
So-
It's like, what in the world? And it's like, all of this happened. Everybody was in the same spot. This was the conversation. It's like, what the world? It used to happen so often. And finally, I talked to your grandma about it.
Mm-hmm.
Because I was like, I was just getting freaked out. And she was like, people have been blessed with certain gifts from God.
That one was
Since time. And she was like, it used to be used more frequently back in the biblical days and things like that. And she was like, people don't hone in on certain gifts and people don't use them and things like that. But she was like, some things you have and you have naturally, and they just come. You don't have to practice. And that's what she's like, it's a difference between the gift that God gives you and the gifts where people like witchcraft and people go out and ask for different things, or they gotta summon stuff to get different things and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, she helped me understand a little more about that. Because I
feel that.
I was younger than Malia. I was in middle school when it was happening. I was like, I don't know what this is freaky.
Because each time that it happens with me, it gets stronger, like the feeling. And then I'm like, no, this did happen. I dreamt it. And then I realized, and then the memories come back. I'm like, oh, that's creepy.
You want to know something funny about science? Science has something to say about deja vu. They say constantly that we don't necessarily remember things, or when we remember things, it's not the memory being replayed, it's the memory being restitched together. So sometimes when we go through similar situations than as situations that we've been through, they seem like maybe I've been here before, or I recognize this. I just don't really remember the last time I was here. Not limiting or negating y'all experiences. This is just what science says.
But whenever science tried to explain something, it's usually deeper.
And they end up hitting
something else.
a big wall.
And they try to explain away God.
Yeah.
But then they end up hitting that big wall of something that they can't understand or explain.
That's just like the strangers I met. They told me to be careful.
You whispering.
It's like the strangers that I met that told me to be careful about what comes out of my mouth because there was power
Mhm.
There is power
in my mouth.
in the name of Jesus.
Prophecy is fun. Like you said, it's a prediction.
No, they said.
Me.
Oh, did I say that?
The definition.
You read the
Oh.
definition, slow girl.
It's a prediction. And the Bible is not quiet about a lot of things.
You will get money. I'm sorry.
The Bible says in Deuteronomy chapter 18, verse 22,
I'm not looking.
you don't have to.
Oh.
When a prophet speaks in the name of God, and the word is not or comes not,
Friends in your chat.
that is the word which Yahweh has not spoken. The prophet has not spoken it. The prophet has spoken it presumptuously. Do not be afraid of him, saying it's not a prophet. So when somebody says something is gonna happen and it doesn't happen, then you probably shouldn't listen to that person. But what's funny about the Bible is it has 8,352 verses that have prophecies in it out of 31,103 verses. Mathematically, that is 737 predictions in total. 6,312 verses as predictions have come true, which brings the number of predictions from 737 down to 215. If I can be right over 500 times, why you feel like you still need to doubt what I have to say? And then the only prophecies that haven't come true are the ones that it's not time for them to come true yet. If somebody said, Malia, if somebody told you, if a medium came up to you and was like, you're going to find a boyfriend tomorrow, and you found a boyfriend tomorrow, you would probably go back to that medium and be like, what else you got for me? Yeah.
No, I'm gonna think she a stalker. She a weirdo. How you what? Probably paid that boy to come to me and be like, hey, you wanna date me? I don't know.
If a medium came up to you and said, you're going to find $100 tomorrow, and walking, you found $100 tomorrow, would you go back to that medium and be like, hey, what else you got for me?
I wouldn't say I wouldn't, but I also would say I would, because I would feel like it's a little strange, because how did this person just come up to me and say I'm gonna find $100 and I found it? And it's like, I would be curious, but at the same time,
Throw it to me.
I feel like them people that do that, I feel like they really be like studying other stuff, and they don't really believe in God. So it's just like, I don't really want to take my chance with that,
I asked the wrong group
because
of people. These people smart for some
because
reason.
I don't have time, because I don't know what you're studying, and I don't know how you're getting this to happen, and I don't want no parts of it. So I'm not gonna ask her no more.
So if somebody came up to you and was like, by looking in your eyes, I know you got healed, but I know you got knee pain. Touch your knee and your knee stop hurting. Would you go back to that person and be like, what else you got for me?
I would be a little leery. Because not necessarily I would have to have something else would need to guide me.
Man, I
Back to that
switched
person.
it up twice.
Because
Where's the net?
I'm not that trusting or because I don't want to call it
Oh, yeah,
gullible
downstairs on
or
the
anything
chairs.
like that, because
You
sometimes
get that?
people are sent to you,
Mm.
and
No,
it's
that's
not
good.
always bad or negative.
I don't think so.
But there were things that I would have to do before I go back to say, okay, let me test this and see how accurate this is.
Mm.
Because for one, my thing is, tell me something that you can't readily find if you Google me.
I can find you got knee pain if I Google
Or, or
you.
that I haven't said to you.
I mean, medical records are
Exactly. So that's my whole thing
Look,
right
bro.
there. So that's where I am.
They deserve it if they going that
Ooh.
far, bro.
This is their crap. This is a person's
Gracias.
job. So they're gonna do all the research that they can.
Say what up to David, everybody.
my friend
He
is
don't
in
lie.
there.
What up, though?
My friend is in there.
That's Big Dave right there.
You talking to me and my friend?
I'm talking to everybody that's gonna watch this eventually.
Stop.
So,
I keep
okay,
forgetting you doing this on YouTube.
let me say it like this then. If I, although my viewpoints can be abrasive at times, if I have publicly made speeches, let's say 100 speeches talking about things that are going to happen in the future, and 80 of them have already come to pass, but we still waiting on the other 10.
Mhm.
Would you assume that I'm a truthful person? Would you, if you had access to me, would you come to me for truth because those things that I said actually happened?
I'm sorry.
I'm doing my research.
I still wouldn't come to you.
Mhm.
Are we speaking hypothetically?
Yes, hypothetically.
Oh, because I don't go to future tellers and things like that.
Mhm.
I use Malia's word. I go to God.
Because it could be fraud. It could be tapping into some other stuff.
I'm glad prophecy wasn't the first thing on the list because y'all beating this one down like Mike about to beat Jake Paul when
Yeah,
come
I
out
go
with that
to
Netflix thing.
God, so I'm not readily going
Mhm.
to someone else.
Unless he points me
To
right
see-
back to you. And I'm like, okay, then I'm going to go.
Right, to seek something where I can just
pull up
open it up and have that conversation
Mhm.
with God through prayer.
I definitely understand that, and I agree wholeheartedly. I didn't know this before I started doing this, and I think this is really really interesting. I mean, like y'all said, I would definitely be wary if it was just a person saying things, putting information out there, and things just happen to come true. I would definitely listen more. Is enticing enough for me to come back, especially if the things that you're saying is coming to pass. But
No.
it's not enough for me to just generally believe in you, trust in you. I
I
agree.
don't want people to come back to me and specifically be like, oh, so is this going to happen?
Mhm.
No, I only speak what God gives me, like with Thea and Charles. When we was down there and they was talking about everything that was going on, I said, don't give up. I'm like, cause y'all, this is gonna happen. This is gonna happen.
Mhm.
You know, her seasons. I was like, it's gonna be on store shelves. This is gonna happen. Can't tell them when, but it's going to happen.
Yeah.
And
So you saying you're a prophetess?
it all happened. No, it's just
There's
the
more.
power.
I'm scared.
There's multiple.
I mean,
I was about to say he sound like that thing.
Rugrats.
That was
It was Rugrats.
I mean,
Yes.
in Deuteronomy, it say what if in it if you talking to. I'm just trying to.
Deuteronomy don't say imminent.
I'm about to cry. That's crazy.
But yeah, it's not something that I would claim or put behind my name because I only bring forth what God give me to bring forth.
Oh, so we supposed to do that for you? Okay, I'm gonna just call you prophetess then, since you don't want to do that yourself. It's okay for people to call me Pastor Mike, but I can't call you Prophetess Mama. Mama Prophetess.
Dr.
Prophet,
Martin Luther
Prophet,
King.
Prophet
Jr.
Mama Tess. We gonna figure it out.
Oh, that's what it is.
Pause.
Prophet Mama Tess, low-key go hard. Might be
Sound
able
like
to.
so many names.
But I really liked that though. It's 31,103 verses in the Bible. 8,352 verses are prophetic. 737 predictions are in those 8,000 verses. And 6,312 verses as predictions have come true, which leaves 2,040 verses, meaning 215 predictions. Exactly, very much.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we had 100%.
Like I say, 2 out of 3 ain't bad. That's a good batting average.
We had 100%. And then segue into Jesus, because Jesus is prophesied 613 times in the Old Testament. I don't even think we should get into all the specific ones because 613 is a lot. But Jesus is prophesied in the Old Testament. So if we can, that's kind of what I was trying to allude to with the last one. If we can trust all these other prophecies that have happened, and Jesus comes and says, I'm also fulfilling these prophecies, then the trust should be a easy segue. And now for the second way to ask the question, how do we believe in what we believe in? How do we go about showing how we believe in what we believe in? And we find that in Matthew and the book of Acts. But we're going to start with the book of Acts. And it's just...
Is it how do we show or how do we believe in what we believe in? What are our actions? Is that what your question is?
Mm-hmm. Acts. Shins. Acts. It work.
Okay.
We starting in Acts because I'm gonna just be bouncing through Acts with my mama touched on it. I'm not there yet. People don't lean into, pray for, or hone in on their spiritual gifts, and so they're not as prevalent as they used to be, even though we have the ability to see what people on the other side of the world is doing at the same time that we doing stuff. So to encourage us to exercise our spiritual gifts, we're going to read about them. So the first one, we're going to go to Acts chapter 4, verse 10.
Oh, I need to turn now.
See.
Hold on, I'm going to just bring this up on my tablet.
God, this is getting so late, bro.
Acts, what time? It's 9:05. You got school tomorrow?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Okay.
And I got after school practice.
Okay, you can always go back and watch the live. That's going to be your assignment. And you need to watch it before next Sunday.
Because he going to ask
Acts
questions.
what, Pumpkin?
Acts chapter 4, verse 10.
Okay. I'm gonna finish the last note card that I started to write. Dang, how am I gonna slip?
Let it be known to you all.
9 is where he talks about healing them, and then 10 is his punishment. Mm-hmm.
Why do you say 9:13?
Because I set it up wrong. It's actually supposed to be
We were
through
being examined today concerning that. I'm listening.
all the persecution that Jesus's disciples faced, they still believed in what they believed in. So this is how we believe in what we believe in.
They got a new version of the Bible.
More proof. What do you mean?
NCV,
New Continental? I don't know what
New
that is.
Century version.
Ew, that's crazy. I mean, yeah, they come out with new translations all the time. It's crazy. I mean, they just trying to make it easier for other people to read, but they also be mistranslating some things.
For me, I'm sorry. I'm
You good.
jumping. How I'm not a perfect individual, but my thing is I let God lead me
Mhm.
because my daily prayer sets those provisions for me daily. And things that I've been through in my life lets me know that He's real. And the things in my life where I'm of age
Mhm.
and of that sound mind with that understanding. And I can discern and understand, okay, I recognize it for what it is. And I realize that, okay, with each test that we are given, that expounds on the relationship as well as tapping into whatever gift that you have been given.
Mhm.
As far as strengthening it, and being able to realize that it's there or the usage of it.
Interesting.
And some gifts we don't recognize until we're in it.
I think that can become problematic, depending on the person. But some people like to say that, I'm not even going to say that. By definition, from the Hebrew perspective, sin is missing the mark. So whether you intentionally do wrong, unintentionally do wrong, or you just don't do what God tells you to do, you sinning. So I feel like having a gift and not exercising it, not honing in on it, not praying on it, and using the gift consistently to build the kingdom can be sin. And above all, we want to avoid a sinful lifestyle. So wholeheartedly, I would love to just be comfortable in the gifts that I'm given and just do little things where I don't have to put myself out there.
Right.
But He wants us to put ourselves out there.
Because His thing is not to be shameful of what you have. It took me a long time to get that. And I felt if I talk about it or put it out there, it's also being prideful, but you're not supposed to be. It took me a long time in prayer for me to get that understanding that it wasn't. Because as long as He was saying, okay, I need you to say this, or this is the opportunity to talk to this individual or counsel this individual. That's like I said, sometimes you are in the midst of the gift and don't even realize it until it's going on. And you're like, wait a minute. That's just like people talking to me, and I sit and I'm talking, and before long I'll be like, "Oh, sound like I'm preaching," and I do this, and it's like, how did this conversation turn into that? And it's like, okay, I don't know what to do at that point, but I continue to whatever comes, and I just, because it's like evidently, then people be like, I needed to hear that today, and I'm looking like, okay. And they be like, thank you. You're welcome. I don't know what I did. So, and it's like, all right. And I roll on.
Because the parts of what you said that you felt like were small, or that the parts that you felt like she should have walked away with, she walked away with the part that you weren't really paying attention to. And
that's why they were so grateful.
Do y'all feel like y'all have any spiritual gifts, or do y'all want any spiritual gifts?
I would say I feel like I probably haven't found my spiritual gift yet. But that's also because I'm still working on my relationship with God. Also, since I've been doing my own little thing now and getting better and not staying on the wrong path like I used to. So I feel like when I get a close relationship with Him, then I'm gonna find my spiritual gift. For at the time being, I don't know what it is.
I low-key feel like I have a spiritual gift, but I'm honestly not sure what it is, and I feel like we had talked about it before. Like how when I used to tell you when I was a kid and I used to get like bad feelings somebody would die, or like it's like the feeling of knowing something bad is about to happen. Like I can always tell, no matter what's going on. It's like I get anxious and my mind gets to going all over the place, and I just instantly know like something is about to happen. It's always been like that as a kid. I'm not sure if that is a spiritual gift or not, but that's why I'm at with it.
Well, is it the physical thing to know when something bad is gonna happen?
No.
So that would be a spiritual gift. Huh?
I'm
just trying to make you think through it. She just had to put the puzzle together. Yeah, so I introduced that wrong. It's supposed to be through all the disciples' persecution. How could we still believe what we believe in? Ultimately, because it's true, but because they went through so much persecution. How?
That doesn't stop me from believing. Oh Lord, and I got a great example. There's an individual that thought because they joined a church, went to Bible study, went to church every Sunday, was active in the church, that life for them would be easy and things would just fall in their lap. And I was like, where do you get that from? Because nothing that we've read and went over in church says that. And I was like, my thought and interpretation of that is because you're strengthening that connection with God. That makes any and everything that's against God come at you that much more stronger, to test you, to see exactly where your faith and your will lies.
Big time.
And I was like, yeah, no, that makes me fight and push even more, because it's like I need that strength, because they're not going to stop coming after me. So I need to make sure that I'm geared up and I'm guarded and I'm ready. So see, all I needed was a nap.
I can't.
Yeah, I'm gonna make.
I want to share something with y'all. It'll probably be at the end. My daily prayer that I say.
Cool.
She's such a girl.
Right.
Paul went through it. Paul was shipwrecked. Paul got bit by a snake. Paul went to jail countless times. They stoned Paul. Thought Paul was dead. Drugged him out the city.
Relax.
I only went one time. I ain't going back. Don't do that.
Yeah.
Don't do that. Don't do that. But and then Big James, it says in the Bible that he was killed with the sword. But to find all the other disciples' deaths, you have to go to Jewish tradition, which I don't necessarily like.
Mhm.
But they're not recorded in the Bible, and there is some authenticity to Jewish tradition. You just have to be very careful. But we gonna go through some of them anyway, the ones that I remember. They said Peter was hung upside down on a cross and killed that way. Andrew was killed on a cross shaped like an X. John.
I'm sorry.
I'm going back.
Did we have the conversation about the cross and its actual shape?
I don't think so. What do you mean its actual shape?
Who did I have that conversation with then?
I don't think it was me.
Because it was the way it's depicted that the cross isn't actually a cross. Or was that a show that I watched and they were in deeper detail of the actual shape?
I don't know. It's a lot of scientists, well, not a lot, but they put out studies based on the positioning of the cross and trying to measure how much pain that he would have been going through in that situation.
Yeah, because it's two different, whether it's shaped like what we know or if it
Or
was
like an
actually
X.
an X.
Yeah, they do both.
Yeah. So okay, sorry, carry on.
And I don't think they would usually do them upside down, but Peter said he felt unworthy to be crucified like Jesus, so they put him upside down. It was one other disciple that was crucified upside down too. The John that wrote Revelation that actually didn't die from people trying to kill him. He died from old age. They tried to boil him.
Pops, Malia asks if you can unlock the car so she can get the water.
They boiled my guy in oil and he didn't die. So they sent him to jail on the island.
That's something.
And it's crazy to imagine that all these people had to say was, you know what? Jesus not God. You right. I'll take that back. To not die, but they never did. So that brings a bit of merit to the situation. And then we segue into the next question, which is how do we practice what we
That's
believe
not
in?
gonna work for me.
She opened the front door.
I was
That's why the air.
No way, because the air.
I don't play with those.
This is kind of long, so Matthew 25. So I'm gonna.
Did you read it?
I bounced through it.
So we on Matthew.
I bounced through it myself instead of going through the different verses. Yeah, Matthew chapter 25.
What verses?
I want to read all of them. I really wanted to read the beginning for Malia because that was that question. That was the story that she was asking about, but it goes into it as well. So the whole chapter is 46 verses. 1, 2, 3, 4. Four of us.
You said chapter 25.
1, 2, 3, 15. English Standard Version.
You said chapter 25.
Yes. So I'm gonna read. What did I just say? 4. 46 to 12. I'm going to read 16.
These aren't marked in here, so I can't read.
I don't know what you mean. The verses aren't marked?
You know.
Oh, that's fun.
Right.
I might just read the whole thing. Stop me if you have any questions.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody ready? Mm-hmm. Then the reign of the heaven shall be compared to 10 maidens. Maidens are virgin women that are old enough to be married, who took their lamps and went out to meet the bridegroom. Do we all understand what's going on before I continue?
Yeah, ain't this the oil or the oil lamp story you told me about?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Jesus is telling a parable, which is a story to explain something else. He's telling a parable to explain what heaven is like. And 5 of them were wise and 5 foolish. Those who were foolish, having taken their lamps, took no oil with them, but the wise took oil in their containers with their lamps. Now, while the bridegroom took time, they all slumbered and slept. This is gonna take forever, bro. I was just watching a sermon about this, and bro was going crazy. He was explaining how the customs of Jewish marriage. And the way it goes is the man and his father goes to the woman, or the man and his parents goes to the woman's house, and they pay whatever it is for them to pay to marry the daughter. And then they go back to his house, and the man has to build an extension on his father's home for him and his wife to start their life in. And whenever he's finished building that extension on the house is when he walks to go and get his wife, and the marriage is at the wife's house when he gets there. So it's like nobody necessarily knows when this is going to happen. The only person that knows is the father of the groom that's building the extension, because he'd tell the groom, like, all right, that's good enough. You can go ahead and go and get her. And the groom will go and get his friends, and they go and get the wife, and they have the marriage ceremony. So because the groom was gone for so long, you didn't put in your mind like maybe it would take longer. Maybe he will be late because these are the customs. Mm-hmm. You just went out there with what you had. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, of course it is going to come back to us, but I'm going to keep reading. Now while the bridegroom took time, they all slumbered and slept. And at midnight a cry was heard, "See, the bridegroom is coming. Go out to meet him." Then all those maidens rose up and trimmed their lamps. And the foolish said to the wise, "Give us of your oil, because our lamps are going out." I gotta stop again. I can't even, because I didn't even explain how it connect to us, so I can't say this next part. That's crazy. But the wise answered, saying, "No, indeed, there would not be enough for us and you. Instead, go to those who sell and buy for yourselves." And while they went to buy, the bridegroom came, and those who were ready went in with him to the wedding feast, and the door was shut. And later, the other maidens also came, saying, "Adonai, Adonai," just teacher, "open up for us." But he answering said, "Truly, I say to you, I do not know you. Watch, therefore, because you do not know the day nor the hour in which the Son of the Son of Man is coming.
That's crazy.
What?
I listened to you. When I looked down at here, I was right there where you were. As soon as you said, when you said watch, my eyes was right there. And I was like, is it a second watch in here and you can't read it? And I was able to follow, and I was like, okay.
God is good. This is crazy. I feel like I be trying to say this without really saying it to people. We can't share our salvation. You got to explain to these people what the truth is, what's going on, so that they can believe for themselves and work out their own salvation. Exactly. In here, he says that heaven is going to be like 10 women. You can't tell these 10 women apart in the beginning, because all we know is that 5 of them got a container of oil somewhere for their lamp. So all these 10 women look the same from jump.
And they're carrying lamps.
Yeah, they all carrying lamps. They all headed to the wedding. They probably all got the same thing on. Who knows? They all look the same until these women woke up from falling asleep, and 5 of them couldn't light their lamps back up because they didn't have enough oil. And then you, because you ran out of faith, because you didn't have enough self-control, because you didn't read enough, bring yourself close enough, make yourself or pray enough to understand these things, you want to ask me for assistance, for some of my faith, for some of my salvation, for me to pull you up when he pulling me up. And I can't do that. I can't always be the one to help you. I'm not always going to be around to help you. You got to lean on God. God was raised from the dead. He's always going to be here. I'm not the one. And that's exactly why they told them no. And then what's even worse about it, these women, they probably came from the crib, right? So when they put oil in their lamps, it was from the crib, right? The ladies told them, like, y'all gotta go and buy your own. So I got oil at the crib, but now I have to go buy my own because I didn't bring my oil from the crib to keep with me. So yeah, it just puts you at more of a deficit instead of you just handling your business from the jump. And then it get even crazier, because why was these 10 women going to the wedding if they didn't know the bridegroom? Did y'all catch that?
What he said.
Yeah, the bridegroom opened the door and was like, I don't know y'all. Why was I coming in the first place if you didn't know me? He obviously knew them, but because you messed up, because you wasn't on time, right. I don't know you. You can't come in here. These doors is closed. You only got so much time.
Reminds me of church.
Huh?
Reminds me of church.
The doors are open.
Yeah.
So you can't get
the altar
call.
Yeah, so one in time.
Oh,
when, like,
the prayer situation.
Yeah, we literally cannot come in the church.
Yeah, so it's mind blowing, and it's kind of like a wake up call for the people that are preaching and the people that take the back seat road. Like, there are people that are going to be dependent on me, so I have to make sure that they aren't. I have to equip them with the things that they need so they can take care of themselves. And then the person on the back end got to be accepting of these things and willing to use these things to better themselves. So I'm gonna continue now. I'm in verse 14. For it is like a man going from home who called his own servants. Oh, snap. Okay, so this is another parable. I didn't know it was going straight into it.
You said, "Oh, I'm looking at end," and I'm like, I know this.
I didn't read the whole thing. I had just went to the end where he tell us to do stuff. I like this. I'm glad I chose this chapter. For it is like a man going from home who called his own servants and delivered his possessions to them. And to one he gave 5 talents,
Mhm.
and to 2 he gave another 1. What? And to another 2, and to another 1. My bad. To each according to his own ability, and went from home.
Mhm.
And he who had received the 5 talents went and worked with them, and made another 5 talents. In the same way, he with the 2 also gained 2 more. But he who had received the 1 went away and dug in the ground, and hid the silver of his master. And after a long time, the master of those servants came and settled accounts with them. And he who had received 5 talents came and brought 5 other talents, saying, Master, you delivered me 5 talents. See, I have gained 5 more talents beside them. And his master said to him, Well done, good and trustworthy servant.
Mm.
You are trustworthy over a little. I shall put you over much. Enter into the joy of your master. Then he who had received 2 talents came and said, Master, you delivered to me 2 talents. See, I have gained 2 more talents beside them. His master said to him, Well done, good and trustworthy servant. You were trustworthy over a little. I shall put you over much. Enter into the joy of your master. And the one who had received the 1 talent also came and said, Master, I knew you to be a hard man, reaping where you have not sown, and gathering where you have not scattered seed. And being afraid, I went and hid your talent in the ground. See, you have what is yours. And his master answering said to him, You wicked and lazy servant. You knew that I reap where I have not sown, and gathered where I have not scattered seed. Then you should have put my silver with the bankers, and at the coming I would have received back my own with interest. Let me stop right there. So let me ask y'all a question. Do y'all think that's fair? Let me put it in more modern terms. Let's say 3 children came up to their father, and the oldest one got $5, the middle one got $2, and the youngest one got $1. So they all went out, do what young kids do. The oldest one sold some candy, the middle one raked some leaves, the youngest one put the money in the lunchbox. And they all came back to their daddy and was like, Hey, I doubled the money, except the youngest one. The youngest one was like, I just put it up and I still got the same thing. Do y'all think that was a fair reaction in this situation?
Mhm.
You think it's fair?
Yeah.
Kind of 50-50. Like, it's fair, but
Ain't
it's
no
not
fences
fair.
here, buddy.
No room to swing your legs.
I don't know, because it's really like I get it, but it's also like it's not fair. But at the
So it's not fair.
I mean, it is, but it isn't. That's why I said I don't know.
She probably feel like it's fair on the side of like using your example, the oldest kid get the most and the young like going down that line. But it's also unfair because I mean I'm assuming she feel like it's unfair because of like how the last one is treated, I guess. They got less than everybody else. Even though the middle child got less, he still got more than somebody else though. I don't know. Maybe. Am I hitting somewhere, Jasmine?
I feel it's fair
Mhm.
because in the beginning, he gave based on their talents. So therefore,
I said it.
your talent determined what you got, as well as what you did with what you received.
Talent, wisdom, age.
So that eldest child was smart enough to take that 5. Let me go buy some candy with this. Let me flip this 5. And that's what they did. That second one was like, hey, let me take this 2, go buy some equipment. Let me go out here and make some more money. That other one was like, yeah, I ain't doing nothing but this dollar here. It ain't gonna grow. It ain't gonna sit in that box or that ground and multiply. It's gonna sit there.
It's not gonna help you or anybody else.
But because your talents, he already knew you were lazy, but he figured, hey, go do something with it. That's why he said, give it to the banker. You lazy, the easiest route, give it to the banker, let it grow interest on its own. You didn't even do that. Okay, I'm done.
And that's why when somebody gives, that was on point. When somebody gives you something freely, you're supposed to take that and turn it into something. You don't just take it and let it be what it is. And it's probably gonna get into it. I'm not 100% sure.
Ooh, I'm about to get up and dance. Say that.
But God has given us freely life. So because we understand to not believe in Jesus Christ equals condemnation, death, hell.
Was him giving y'all life free? I think. Ooh, that was a hefty price to pay.
I'm confused. Because I was already doing that for my analogy. I got lost in what she was saying. I don't even remember what I was saying now.
That God gave us life.
Yes,
freely.
Since and you said he didn't give it to us free. Who paid for? Mama, get out, bro.
Shall I count the marks?
Mama, yeah.
The only one that had to come out of you via C-section, I believe, was Malia. Unless Michael did, but I don't know.
Michael did too. You was only natural.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah, we throwing up C's in this boy.
I was natural.
All that did.
Because God gave us life freely, we should be granting the people, well, not the people that we care about. That's what I was about to say, but we should be caring about everybody. We should be granting everybody else with that access to eternal life.
That's why I ain't killed y'all yet.
What the?
It's my parable.
Mom, I'm going for your weaknesses first. Don't leave me alone.
Okay, so I'm
You only get the pup and I have none.
I'm gonna reread 27 and then I'm gonna continue.
I'm gonna say my dad is opposite.
Then you should have put my silver with the bankers, and at my coming I would have received back my own with interest. Therefore, take away the talent from him and give it to him who possesses 10 talents. For to everyone who possesses, more shall be given, and he shall have overflowingly. But from him who does not possess, even what he possesses shall be taken away. Don't that sound a little confusing though? Does it sound a little confusing?
No. That goes along with the guy trusting you with little.
Wait, no. Just in part. I'm sorry. I may not have been specific.
Be a good servant over.
But from him who does not possess, even what he possesses shall be taken away.
No, that's not confusing. If God give you a gift and you don't use it, he'll take it away.
What do I have?
Whatever he gave you.
But it says, but from him who does not possess.
And whatever he possesses will still be taken away.
Because you didn't utilize it.
Exactly,
what do I have?
It's being taken away.
You didn't utilize it, so therefore you don't have it.
Oh, I didn't.
Because you didn't use it.
Oh, that's that reverse psychology. Oh, you got him. That's crazy.
You want to know
In the
mind?
mind.
You want to know who he looks like right now?
In the mind. That's whoo. She got him.
Your husband looked like Marlon when he did all that. You know that, right?
It's worded like that on purpose for you to have to like really think critically about it. And that's what I be trying to force the people around me to do. My questions is not to be like condescending or I'm better than you or I'm always trying to teach you something. It's kind of what it
to
is,
elevate
but it's to make
I read
you,
the dictionary when I was growing
it's
up.
to make you think
because his
critically.
mother wanted to elevate him.
I'm glad he know how to read.
No,
This
that.
is why other men have issues, because he know how to converse with people. He know how to communicate. You know how to look them in their eye. It's not a thing of. It's because this is how he was taught. This is how a man addresses a man.
It's the cameras.
He look over my head.
And this is yeah, that's true, but you're not a man either. And this is
Yeah,
why when I shake a man's hand, I do a little firm grip.
You want to be a boy so bad.
I don't.
Chill out, Sierra.
I don't, but it's that it's not a delicate thing, because yes, I'm a woman, but I can stand my own ground.
You
Nice
I
a
was
to
about to
man.
say, I just shake your hand regularly, like
Nice
that's
to
how
meet
mama
you.
do it. Because I don't do that, girl.
How do you do it?
I don't.
It's not hello, but they do know I don't touch a door when it's one around.
Yeah, nah.
Get
I
my
was about to
door.
say, I definitely don't touch the door if I'm around another man.
I just taught
don't
that to
touch
the new
door.
hire. I said, and I paused and I said, "Oh, I'm sorry." I said, when it's a man, I don't touch a door." And somebody's like, "She doesn't." And he was like, "It's cool. I got you. Thank you. Just make sure we on the same page."
Just
'Cause
been
when I
6
pause,
years
and I'm
he get the
still-
door.
You got no choice, but
I'm just now getting used to it.
I've been used to it because my dad slapped my hand and Michael slapped my hand. That was the lesson that I needed. Don't touch the door.
Oh, your dad learned at a late age. Go
I
ahead.
touched the door when
That's
I wanted to
crazy.
fight.
that's
I have 2 things to share when this is over and we're off of live.
cool. Yeah, we in verse 30 now. And this is the part that should really hit home. And throw the worthless servant out into the outer darkness. There shall be weeping and gnashing
You
of
heard me
teeth.
reading, right? Remember, I told you this is not marked. This is the 3rd time I done did it.
It's not Martin.
It's not
It's
marked,
Oh, yeah.
but this is the 3rd
Oh,
time I done done it.
Yeah, I did hear you start
Where'd you
reading.
get Martin from?
Sorry, I love
I was
you.
confused. I had to put some stuff together in my head.
There will be weeping.
But my question, it's gonna take us forever to get through this. Where are they?
It's 9:43. It ain't gonna take you forever.
Where are
It's
they?
the summation
Where are they?
where they cast the unprofitable servant into outer darkness.
Yeah, where are they? How is that possible? Because where you would assume that if this is a person talking to people, they're on earth.
To see.
How we throwing this? Where is he?
But what makes you think that their location determines whether there's darkness or outer darkness or not? What makes you
Mama.
I'm sorry, that now, girl.
No, his inner
Kill that man.
His inner Marla's coming out. Stop.
Wow.
That
Wow.
was on point.
Kill that man. That's crazy.
That was
That's
what?
that's okay. That fit. That makes sense. But I mean, also it's a parable, so it's for the double. But that fits though. That makes a lot of
Because
sense.
It like you said, it causes you to think. But like I said, it's a lot of things in here. You can take it at its minimal meaning, or you can expound or look deeper, because it actually goes deeper than the finite words that was decided to be used.
For sure. Whew. Okay, verse 31. Read one verse.
Where is the wind, lady? Where is the wind?
And when the Son of Man comes in his esteem, and all the holy messengers with him, then he shall sit on the throne of his esteem. And all the nations shall be gathered before him, and he shall separate them one from another, as a shepherd separates his sheep from the goats. Don't want to be a goat no more. And he shall put the sheep on his right hand, but the goats on the left. Then the sovereign shall say to those on his right hand, Come, you blessed of my Father, Inherit the reign prepared for you from the foundation of the world. For I was hungry, and you gave me food. This is the part where it starts. How we exercise our faith. Verse 35, for I was hungry, and you gave me food. I was thirsty, and you gave me drink. I was a stranger, and you took me in. I was a stranger, and you took me in. Was naked, and you clothed me. I was sick, and you visited me. I was in prison, and you came to me. Then the righteous shall answer him, saying, Teacher, when did we see you hungry, and we fed, or thirsty, and gave to drink? And when did we see you a stranger, and took in, or naked, and clothed? And when did we see you sick, or in prison, and we came to you? And the sovereign shall answer and say to them, Truly, I say to you, insofar as you did it to one of the least of these, my brothers, you did it to me. He shall then also say to those on the left hand, Go away from me, accursed ones, into the everlasting fire prepared for the devil and his messengers. For I was hungry, and you gave me no food. I was thirsty, and you gave me no drink. I was a stranger, and you did not take me in. Was naked, and you did not clothe me. Sick and in prison, and you did not visit me. Then they also shall answer him, saying, Teacher, when did we see you hungry, or thirsty, or a stranger, or naked, or sick, or in prison, and did not serve you? Then he shall answer them, saying, Truly, I say to you, insofar as you did not do it to one of the least of these, you did not do it to me. And these shall go away into everlasting punishment, but the righteous into everlasting life.
3.
Now, how fitting for you to put at the end of the chapter, I need to help as many people as I can. But in the beginning of the chapter, it's like, I ain't giving you no oil. What a switch up.
What a lesson.
Because one has to be willing to help themselves.
That's the big part. I can only give you so much. Don't blindly
give. Oh, I can share this one on live.
You said you're going to go on camera?
No.
My bad, y'all.
My thing has been, I don't know how long it has been, but it's like, you know what? I just told somebody this past week. I feel that my job on this earth is if I see a need, to fill it.
See a need, feel a need.
And I had to come back to say as long as it wasn't a detriment. Because it was at one point I was just giving and giving and giving. And I had to be taught just what this speaks on. I can't blindly give because a person has to be willing to help themselves. So therefore, I had to learn how to be guided to where my help was actually needed.
You know what's crazy? Mom's words, see a need, feel a need, was used in the movie.
What movie?
Robots.
That's a new movie?
No. When Aunt Fanny the robot says
that's
to
what
Michael, what's that?
That's what I thought you was talking about. So in this, it's a really good foundation for us. Jesus said that the greatest commandments are all of them summarized into 2. First, love God with your heart, your mind, and your strength. Second, love your neighbor as you love yourself. In doing all those things.
Pause. You heard what he just said. Love your neighbor. And
for some, I was about to say that's hard because some people don't love themselves.
It's very
so
hard.
Therefore, they can't. That's why it always starts here.
Hard. That's not why I'm saying it.
I was going to say Dixon on the list.
That's exactly who she's talking about.
You can try that.
Oh, I wasn't talking about him
Pettiness is
either.
crazy.
I was
Talk
referring
about
to myself.
herself.
What are you
Sorry,
talking about
I was
yourself?
being so selfish.
Yeah, she
I'm
was.
still
But
not
I was
over
already there.
the store part when she went to the turtle place and got those turtles without me. Love it.
Look, Muncher. No.
It's a nice little cool down.
Hungry hippo.
Hey.
At the crux of this all, we need to be strong in our faith and taking care of ourselves so that we can take care of others and help them be strong in their faith. We're going to end it right there.
I thought we was gonna get to the part where he was telling the story about Faith of a Mustard Seed. I like that story.
No, that wasn't in that one. I think that comes before that. We had fun. Oh, that's crazy. Sergio in here now. What up, fam?
Hey.
So Sergio said hi.
Tell him to save because we have now until what, June?
Mom said we
Are
got
we leaving
now
on
until
my birthday
June.
or before?
So start saving right now. I'm gonna call you
November,
tomorrow, bro.
December,
I'm gonna
January,
text you
February,
before.
March, April, May, June.
We
that's
don't
8.
know
Are
how
we-
much.
100 a month.
Are we leaving before my
100.
birthday?
She said save 100 a month. So you said how many months is that?
That's 8.
8 months, $800. $100 a month,
gonna be here for my
$800. That's what she
Don't
said.
know. Don't figure that out.
I really want to be there for my
All right,
birthday.
bet. I'm gonna call you then. I got you.
We got to be there for my birthday. We got to. We got to leave a couple days before my birthday. We got to be there for my birthday.
That's crazy.
Jasmine
All right,
wants to,
y'all.
Jasmine wants to spend her 23rd and make
We had a great one. First Bible study on live stream. Yeah, we'll get better.
Why am I walking around with Kool-Aid in my pocket? Does that make me black?
Fat. I done already explained it.
Is this a nail file that I gave you? No, it's not. It look like one of the ones I had in my little box. Then I ain't gonna be done until 1 o'clock. I'm
Okay,
taking,
now,
Cam some
we're all-
tacos tomorrow.
I'm trying.
Cam does not know what the tacos to do.